Paul tells the Philippians to rejoice in the Lord always. And again I say, rejoice. Joy is the theme of this letter. But he doesn't take it for granted. He reminds them twice, as if they need reminding, right? It's an imperative. Make joy in the Lord together the hallmark of your life. Don't neglect it. Attend to it. Practice it. My good friend over here, the crier, Steve Brookshire, is my regular golfing partner. He went for a week to Scottsdale, Arizona a couple of years ago to take a course called Vision 54. Now, the name of this comes from the idea that if you were to birdie every single hole on a typical 18-hole golf course, you would shoot 54. Never been done as far as I know. Honestly, maybe somebody, But the point is, it never will be if you can't imagine it. This wasn't a class on making the perfect swing, as if technique is what matters most. It's about thinking your way to better play. And to do that, you must clear your mind of distractions and let go about worry about the future. They had every player begin each day with a gratitude journal. So you had to start every day by being thankful and saying what you were thankful for of the gifts of life that were yours and that were already present to you all around. And Steve came away from this thinking, why should this be only for golf? We should all be doing this every day, right? And this reminds me of Chesterton's pithy words. Thanks are the highest form of thought. And happiness, the gratitude, is happiness doubled by wonder. I love that. And I think it's the heart of what Paul is saying here. When we focus our mind on what we are thankful for, and we cast all of our anxieties on God in prayer, then we experience the peace of God, and joy overflows. The next section of Paul's last words is the call to attend to the virtues. Whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things, he says. Think about these things. Now, this is not a Pollyanna glad game he's talking about here, where you just ignore all the evil and injustice of the world and live as though everything is fine if you just think right, There's much work to do still in challenging all those things that hurt people in the world, that deface the image of God in every human being. The church must speak to this. But if we do not simultaneously live ourselves as a community of virtue, we will never offer the world anything. It needs a vision of what things might be like if God's dream for the world came true. We will never be perfect, never shoot 54, so to speak, but we can become more of what we are meant to be by thinking about and practicing these things. This is the secret sauce that makes Wilshire who we are. When I came to you years ago, my predecessor, Bruce McKeever, who had served for 30 years, told me, George, churches are either pills or plums. Wilshire is a plum. I got the idea he didn't want me to mess that up. But what he meant by that is what I have found to be true about you. Some churches just seem to find ways to make problems. Others, like you, seem to find ways to solve problems. We would never have done what we have done if we had not kept this character consistently and lived into it. I am who I am because of you. I have grown and changed, and so have you. There's an African word that summarizes this, Ubuntu. It means roughly, I am because we are. The late, great South African Archbishop Desmond Tutu described it this way: Ubuntu is the essence of being human. It speaks of how my humanity is caught up and bound up inexplicably with yours. It says not as Descartes did, I think, therefore I am, but rather I am because I belong. I need other human beings in order to be human. When the pastor search committee presented my nomination to you to be their next pastor, some people were concerned that I was too young for the challenge. They were probably right. But after some discussion, an elderly deacon rose in the meeting and he spoke these words. He said, I'm not worried about whether he's up to the challenge because I know we are. Great pastors, he said, don't make great churches. Great churches make great pastors. He was right then, and to whatever extent I have become a good pastor to you, I owe it to you. Soon you will have a new pastor, and I am not worried, because I know that you know what to do, don't you know? You are up to the challenge. If you continue to do what you have learned and received and heard and seen in our time together. Practice these things, dear church, and the God of peace will be with you always.